sparring sessions where he's talking about he can fight Boots or he sees himself beating Boots?
All I think is that they wanted to be out and be noticed, man. It's just like they want to be a star, and they got to be a star for a certain amount of time using Boots' name.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Listen, I said, since I'm on here, I've been said I'm done talking about that because we ain't clout chasing Boots or whatever else. Again, that whole situation, just I'm gonna try to put it in a nutshell as much as possible. That whole situation was an attempt. That was for Boots. That wasn't even for us. This fight was for Boots. Everything designed in that was in Boots' favor. It was for Boots. You understand what I'm saying?
All right. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, we are going to be back in the 147-pound division where the drama continues as Jaron Ennis's father, trainer, manager goes at Brian Norman Sr. over statements that were made around a potential fight between the two welterweight champions. I listened to this stuff very carefully. Despite the disagreement that you hear between the two of them, I think I have an answer to it. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, we're going to be chopping it up about the two big champions in the 147-pound division. And the conversation that's been going on has really shown a lot of the underbelly of boxing, but specifically what's going on at Matchroom. As you can clearly hear that Bozy Ennis, the father of Jaron Ennis, is highly upset at Brian Norman. But Brian Norman has a side to the story that you may want to appreciate. So let's go through them, and then I'm going to see if you catch some key details.
No, the bigger fight for sure.
Yeah, but this is a boxing game, man. I don't do all the talking like his father do, but his father knew the truth when they came up, when they boxed, and what happened. You know what I mean? I don't like to talk about it because I like the kid too. I like the father at one time too, but I told him he run his mouth too much, man. You know what I mean? This is a game, man. I want everybody to eat, though, but don't start disrespecting people, because I don't like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, y'all had a good relationship.
They came up, wanted some work, you know what I mean? The reason why they came, though, because I asked Cameron Duncan that we needed some opponents to spar because it's hard to get sparring for. And that's what he did. He told me about Brian, and Brian came up, and I explained it to him. Probably need four from him, and four from him. He said, "Oh no, we can do more than that, like that." I said, "All I want 4 though." But I said, "All right, we got in there. Boots broke him down 3 to 4 rounds. Broke him down. Had to make him do the rest of the round."
Is there anything you think that gave him confidence from the sparring sessions where he's talking about he can fight Boots or he sees himself beating Boots?
All I think is that they wanted to be out and be noticed, man. It's just like they want to be a star, and they got to be a star for a certain amount of time using Boots' name.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
All right, so you heard him. Bozy Ennis don't think everything is right over there with Brian Norman. Thinks that, hey, man, he's talking about this money. That money doesn't make sense. If this was the biggest, fight of your career and you about to make the most money, why don't you take the fight that makes the most money? And, off top, it makes a lot of sense. However, and I'm telling you, I truly believe Bozy Ennis from the point of view that he sits in. But having had a conversation with Brian Norman and having really had an opportunity to ask questions and do some research, listen to what Brian Norman has to say, and then I'll see again if you catch some key details of what the man said.
So it's simple as this. If you want us to do this and get y'all out of this pickle that y'all in, come to find out later, they couldn't even did it in the first place. So you go look at the rules. Karen Kukajan or whatever his name is, that purse bid was already accepted August the 16th. So and by rules, somebody sent me the rules. I haven't even, you the first one I'm putting this on there. By rules, that fight could have never happened anyway.
Oh,
it could have never happened.
Let me see.
But they tried to pay him step aside money. He didn't want to step aside money already. Like they already tried that. That fight could have never happened anyway. That's first of all. But bottom line is, on our end, that fight was for 4 boots. We wanted the fight. We accepted the fight. The price wasn't right. So I'm looking at it like, look, y'all here 1.7 million. We here 810,000 before taxes. You feel what I'm saying? Forget people talking about fees. Forget people talking about how much we made. I'm listening to motherfuckers who make $50,000, $60,000 a year telling us what we need to do and what we shouldn't be doing. My son, 23 years old. He's living his own career. We don't have to benefit Boots, especially if you're going to take our hand and we're trying to get you out of a situation with the Karen and you're going to fucking throw it at our face and say we doing this and say we doing it. Well, fuck y'all then. It's simple. It's very simple to us. My son has his own legacy to build. He's 23 years old. Boots wasn't a champion at 23 years old. Boots wasn't where my son was at when he was 23 years old, which I know a lot of people hate to hear, but that's just the truth of the matter. You know what I mean? Boots went from, you want to talk about payday. Boots went from $300,000 in his last fight to $3.3 million. That's times 10. That's just how it works when you become a champion. Your money goes up. So all of the people say, you'll never make it. You just don't tell us what the fuck we gonna make. That's what you gonna make, sir. Or ma'am, whoever it is listening to it. Don't worry about what my 23-year-old son is gonna do. Don't worry about what you got going on. You know what I mean? Simple as that. Again, we're doing it for the best interests of my son, the fighter. If anything, hell, I lost. The managers lost. You know what I mean? We lost the money if you want to look at anything because we would have made a lot bigger portion. So, I mean, again, we're not worried about that. We're not even on that no more. We won't talk about it no more because we're not clout chasing bulls. If you ask me, I'm not even going to go into it. But bottom line is, we cool on all that. I'm not worried about it. All my son going to do, the plan is from this day forward, is to have dominant performances. Once you have dominant performances against, the people whoever you get in the ring with, people start to take notice and they'll start to realize what's really going on. And we're going to take our respect. We're going to take it. So it don't matter about nothing else. We're going to take our respect. So you just keep watching. All the naysayers, all the ones. Yeah, just keep watching.
Well, let me just to share you my thoughts, if you don't mind. Yeah. My stance on that thing has always been, like, I don't know about the money. Like, I just,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much you got offered. Right. I heard 1.7. I heard this, that. I don't know.
I'll tell you, it was 1.7. We got fees to pay. You have fees to pay the promoter for crossing the street. Again, like I said, it wasn't on our. Let me address two more things.
Let me finish up. I'm sorry. Let me make my point. I'm sorry. Look, I'm telling you that I don't think that Eddie Hearn was seriously trying to make fights with you and Jaron or Stanionis and Jaron. I just think that he wants to make that fight he wants Jaron to go up and fight somebody up there at 100. Yeah. And move up to 154 pounds. And he was probably making offers and saying things to people in a way. And also, just so you know, I actually have it on tape that Eddie Hearn did say that the fight couldn't have happened because of the fact that the order had already been made. And if we had gotten to it before the IBF and Derek Peoples had released the order, then, maybe we could have, but this shit's just stupid. The fight can't get made
from the start.
It's just one of these situations where, and that happens a lot of times, where people start talking about a fight. People don't want to really get into the nitty gritty of the IBF rules, because I can assure you that Daryl Peoples and the IBF will strip Boots if he doesn't fight.
He would have never. We wouldn't even been fighting for the title because he wouldn't have been champion, because they wouldn't gonna let it happen. But people don't understand that. They think they know everything. They think they hear everything. And this and that, Utah. All right, well, cool. That's fine.
They snatched. That's how Boots got the belt.
They snatched from Bud quick, real quick.
Yeah, give me the shit. Give it.
Real quick.
IBF is the belt they've snatched. They've stripped Canelo twice. And if they're going to strip Canelo.
Then they strip Usyk. They strip Usyk too, right?
No, Usyk gave it up. Not that last.
Okay. Yeah.
Strip, but he just said he gave it up. But still, they said that they were gonna strip him. So I think he just gave it up so that they didn't have to do it.
Right.
Like we're gonna rematch. So we're gonna rematch. We're gonna run it back with Tyson Fury anyway. So you might as well take this WBO belt or is it the WBO or the IBF, whatever the belt was.
Right.
I think it was
Probably was IBF. Probably was IBF because they the most strict.
IBF because that's
they the most strict. They, like I said, they the most strict. I think everybody else is a little more lenient. But again, man, you got these finicky boxing fans that just want to believe what they want to believe. Listen, for now, we had people mad at us for even saying we would fight Boots. So I'm trying to figure out how you make that make sense. They was mad at us just because we said we would fight him. You know what I mean? So again, there was no win in the situation, no matter what. So we're not worried about it. Again, my son, 23, he get to build his own legacy. He's the youngest champion in boxing today. Next to, Bam Rodriguez is a little older than him or whatever else. So right up on the Bam Rodriguez, he's the youngest champion in boxing today. He's off to a tremendous start. And we just going to continue to build on that and have dominant performance. And, all the fans who want to talk shit, we're going to take our respect. Simple as that. We're going to take it. You ain't going to have no choice but to respect us. Because we will fight anybody, and we going to fight anybody.
Y'all got, and you guys, and so you got a fight coming up, right?
Yeah. November the 8th, Keyshawn Davis undercard. Just so let it be known, that was a fight we already had planned and lined up. We was willing to scrap that fight to fight Jaron Ennis. So we already had again, that's what I'm saying. We're doing them a favor. We were trying to get them out of the situation. At the same time, I give my son a opportunity to become a 2-division champion. You know what I mean? But if you don't want to pay for what we want, then we're going to go ahead and go back to our original plan that we already had in place before this fight was even mentioned to us. Like I said, man, it's a lot of things people don't know, and they think they do know. They think they know everything, and they just, and they echo. This is the other thing about people in general. They echo everything they hear. It don't have to be true. They don't have to know a fact. They just echo shit. They just be echoing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. 15 times to pay and the 10 times to pay, and you will never see. All right.
Yeah. Hey man, that's the price you pay for being a baller, man. That's the price you pay for being
I wish. But again, it's surprising. I do understand that surprise we pay for being in the limelight and being in the eyesight of people. You know what I mean? So when you choose that, it comes with the territory. I'm learning more and more because I'm sensitive. So when I say I'm sensitive, I address any type of situation. So I've been addressing less and less and less because I started to realize that it ain't about them not believing it or want to believe. They're just stupid anyway. I mean,
your son just jumped.
Yeah, some were just stupid.
No. I'm saying your son, no, seriously, man, your son just really, for me, I knew who he was. I had been hearing about him, obviously, you know what I mean? Strong fighter, good fighter. You know what I mean? I support Black American fighters, so I'm keeping my eyes out. You know what I mean? But him just to pop up and be like, man, he's like he's the WBO world champion. Like, really start talking about Brian Norman. Like, dude, this dude's a reigning world champion.
Right. Yeah. People can say what they want to say. That's a big deal. He fought. Listen, and other people look. He got emailed a championship. No, he did not. Anybody that knows, if you think he got emailed a championship, then you, sir, are casual. They love to call people casuals when it was a known fact. When him and Santiago was number 1 in the WBO. Santiago was number 1 in the WBO. My son was number 7 in the WBO. It was a known fact that Terrence Crawford wasn't coming back to 147. The only person that Santiago could have fought for that title up there to get the title would have been Terrence Crawford. But of course, he wasn't coming back. So they found a fight for Giovanni Santiago, which happens to be my son. My son beat the number 1 guy. Crawford wasn't going to fight my son. So it was a known fact by the WBO and the boxing world who actually knows boxing and pay attention to boxing that this is the WBO title fight. It was an interim title fight, but it was a known fact that what's going to happen is when Terrence Crawford move up and go ahead and fight or go ahead and make a decision, this person who wins this fight The winner of this fight is going to be the WBO title holder. That was an already known fight on May the 18th. So when they made the announcement, you saw it, oh, he didn't win it in the ring. He absolutely won it in the ring. He beat the number 1 guy. There's nobody else to beat. Now, if it was Giovanni that fought number 7, you can make that argument. You fought the number 7 guy. You need to fight. You know what I'm saying? You could probably make that argument, maybe. You know what I'm saying? My son was number 7. He beat number 1. Numero uno. You know what I mean? So again, now we're fighting, ironically, now we're fighting a number 7 guy. That's what we defend the title against, the number 7 guy. 27-1, tough, rough and rugged fighter, 19 knockouts. Like I said, pretty tough dude or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? He only got 1 loss, and the 1 loss he got is a split decision loss. So, I mean, this is a veteran of, I think it's a veteran of 29 fights. He's 27-1-1. So with that being said, I mean, hey, good, durable fighter, earn his way to a title shot or earn his way to the rankings. And, you know, we're looking to get it in with him, get it on him. And like I said, make dominant performance from here on out. And that way, like I said, we're going to take respect. We're going to take it.
Yeah. So the question I had was, did you notice some things about what was said by Bozy and what was said by Brian Norman Sr.? I have to tell you that I think that Brian Norman Jr. is being legitimate, because many people misunderstand what his argument was about why that fight didn't take place. He is talking about the money and the offers and all of that. But one thing that he talked about was the IBF rule that prohibits certain things from taking place. So let me play you a rule about the mandatory position and the order that was put out. Okay, so notice that he talked about the IBF rule. This is the IBF rule that he was speaking of. Notice of mandatory obligation. General. The championship's chairman will notify the champion and the mandatory challenger approximately 60 days prior to the mandatory due date, and the boxers must observe that obligation. The champion shall negotiate with the leading available contender as designated by the championship chairman and the president. If they are unable to negotiate the terms of the bout within 30 days, they have the obligation to proceed to purse bid under the procedure set forth in Rule 10. A, the champion and the mandatory challenger may not box any other contestant within 60 days of the mandatory due date. B, a champion's failure to comply with this obligation will be sufficient cause to have the championship committee and board of directors consider withdrawing recognition of the title. C, the challenger's failure to comply with this rule will result in the championship's committee recognizing the next leading available contender as the mandatory challenger and moving the challenger to the position below number 10 in the rankings for at least 6 months. Okay, so if you didn't get that, what that rule says is that if the order is given for a mandatory fight, then once that order is given, that's it. The IBF champion has to take the fight or he's stripped, right? That's what the IBF did to Canelo. That's what they've done to other people. They did to Canelo, I do believe, 2 times. They did it to they did it to Terrence Crawford. They don't have a problem stripping people. So I want to be really clear about something, a fact. Now, this is a fact. This is not opinion. The date of the fight that the fight was actually announced, where the order was announced for Karen Kukadajian and Jaron Ennis, was August 17th. Look at the lower left-hand corner, right underneath the ring. It says August 17th, because that is when they had agreed to fight. That's when they agreed to fight. So, seeing as that they agreed to fight, there really shouldn't be, that's not when they agreed to fight. That is when they were ordered to fight. So, what does that mean? It means any conversation about a fight that took place after the order was already made is not a serious conversation. So if there was, say, a $1.7 million offer made from Jaron Ennis' team, Eddie Hearn to Brian Norman and Brian Norman Jr., if it was made anytime after that order, then Jaron Ennis would have had to drop his title in order to make the fight. Or Brian Norman Jr. would have had to drop his title. It wouldn't have been a unification fight. And it would have been a very funny situation I don't think people would have really looked for. So when did this fight actually get ordered? I mean, when did the negotiation, the $1.75 million, $1.7 million get agreed to? Look at this tweet from Stepside Boxing, dated September 3rd. September 3rd. That's a full 2 weeks after August 17th. Eddie Hearn says the last offer Brian Norman Jr. declined was 1.7, which would have been a 50-50 purse with Jaron Ennis. That was around the time that the third offer was made. If that's the timing of the third offer was made, again, this is dated, this was sent on September 3rd, which was several weeks ago, and said that the last offer was 1.7, was for 1.7. So right there, if they have a rule that you have to have the fight, more than likely the reason that the fight wasn't able to be made was because Jaron Ennis already had a fight. Now, I will tell you something was given up, though. Jaron Ennis, if you listen to Bozy in that interview, said that he wouldn't want to go, he would be willing to go to fight in Atlanta, but he said he wouldn't be willing to fight in Germany. Well, if he's not willing to fight in Germany, well, guess what? He probably is going to move to 154 and vacate that belt, because that's where Karen Kukadajian's promoter, who won that purse bid that they had, that's where they're from. And I don't think what he said was coincidental. Anyway, I just wanted to do a deep dive into that. Some certain people thought I was like siding against Brian Norman Jr. and Brian Norman Sr. Look, man, I like all these guys involved. I talked to some of the parties involved. That's what I think took place. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out.